Oh. सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। ॐ नमो नारायणाय तस्मै नमः स्वामी तपोवनाय। Hari Om. Before I begin, just once more, I'm verifying, is the video all right? Audio all right? You hear the noise of a fan or anything? Is the video shaking? If everything is okay, just someone can confirm and we can start.
All okay, ma.
Sound is okay.
Yes, everything is perfect.
Fine. Okay, let's start. Okay. We are on the topic of Atma Vidya. So Bhagavan Shri Krishna, in this topic, he gave us the knowledge of Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga, the knowledge of our true nature, the nature of our true self as Sachidananda Swarupa. We heard it from Krishna, but we don't believe it. Me, Sachidananda Swarupa, unlimited happiness, there is no trace of it. We can't believe. There are so many doubts. Then Bhagavan knows that we will have doubts. So through yukti, through logic, he gives us in many occasions in Bhagavad Gita, viveka. How to do viveka, how to do vichara, inquiry, how to do mananam, reflection. So various sections on logic, using logical reasoning, how to remove our doubts. Nitya Nitya Viveka, Kshetra Kshetragna Vibhaga Yoga, Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, right? So all these various places where he has given us how to use logical reasoning, yukti, along the lines of Shruti, to know without doubts that I am Sachidananda Swarupa, to understand our true nature without any doubts and be convinced about it. We saw some of that. We saw Nitya Nitya Viveka as elaborated in Sankhya Yoga chapter 2, right? So he says everything that is around which is changing, which has come, will go, will perish, and will be constantly changing and perishing in the due time. What is my nature? What is my experience of my nature? Do I feel like I am constantly changing? Have I ever felt my absence? Do I ever remember of an occasion where I was not present? I mean, my experience of my own absence is not possible. So I'm ever present and I'm ever constant. That is my experience. That is me. Yes, outside world is changing. It has come. Various objects have come in some period of time. They will vanish. They are changing. They are perishing. So also is my body, my mind. They are constantly changing. The body has come. It will go. Mind thoughts are also constantly changing. My senses, my faculties are dwindling, are perishing, are changing. So all those things are not me, not me, not me. So I am this pure existence. Na jayate mriyate va kadachat nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyat. Ajo nitya shashvatoyam puranaha na hanyate hanyamane sharire. In this body which is perishable, which is mortal, I am the immortal, imperishable. In the body which can die, which can be killed, which can be hurt, I am the imperishable, deathless entity. So this, at least when we know this without doubts, we've heard it, and then through the logic of Nitya, Anitya Viveka, when we know it without doubts, even though because of certain other errors in our mind, we may not be able to own up the truth, our true nature, but the intellectual conviction has come after all this inquiry. That conviction itself, that intellectual appreciation itself is a very, very useful thing, isn't it? Because lessons, we have to look at it from a practical way also. At the Adhyatma Vidya level, I am Sat Swarupa, deathless, immortal, birthless. That is all right. That is to be meditated upon. But now Bhagavan has said, now I not only have Shraddha, but using the logic, I've arrived at the same truth also independently through inquiry. And I've accepted it. Meaning, when there is some occasion of bereavement or a loss of someone dear, how do I deal with it? Or the very thought of my own death also, disease, old age, death. How do I handle it? Isn't it? So Sanatana Dharma says, death is only a phase in the journey of this jiva. Just like childhood, youth, manhood, etc. It's like change of clothes. The change of body is like change of course. The change of form is like change of clothes. What is there to be over anxious or worried about? So do not grieve. So do not grieve. The wise do not grieve for the death of this body. Right? So the practical way of dealing with the situations in life, the most difficult situations, challenging situations in life, that is the practical lesson we can hear from we can try to apply from this highest truth also. To that much extent, we are convinced we will also be fearless. We will also have the knack of all these various hacks, they say, no, of handling all these situations in life in a very graceful manner, so that our mind gets freed up of all these various anxieties and becomes free for focus on the higher contemplation. Because otherwise it is everyday living becomes a challenge, and constantly focusing how can I stay healthy, how can I stay disease free, how can I handle this bereavement, how can I handle this depression. These things just occupy my entire time, my entire mind, isn't it? Okay. Then Bhagavan spoke about, he gave us the logic for Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga, which is what? Discrimination of the knower and the known, the subject and the object, the seer and the seen, perceiver and the perceived, Drishya Viveka, all this is the same. So he said, whatever is seen, that is definitely different from the seer. The seen can be so many and varied, and they are constantly changing. They are inert, whereas the seer is one. And the subject, constant and sentient. So that way, when we apply that logic, what Bhagavan has given, audio disturbance. That's why I asked at the beginning, it's 1 minute. So when Bhagavan gave the logic for Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga, the discrimination of the knower and the known. So whatever is known, that cannot be the knower, me, the subject. Object is known, and objects, the seen, the known, are many and varied and keep changing. And inert, the knower me is one and constant and different from the known. I'm the subject. So what is my experience also? So all the objects outside, I'm easily able to negate. Anyway, there was never an identity. And also these equipments of mine, these conditionings of mine, where I have this sense of identification, the eyes, the mind, that also I'm able to see not only the outside things, but I'm able to know the conditions, the state of my sense organs, how well I'm able to hear, how well I'm able to see, how well I'm able to taste, smell, feel. The states of my mind also I am aware, whether it is dull, bright, the intellect, sleepy, alert. So since I know the conditions of my senses and my mind, those also become objects, even though they seem to be sentient because of the borrowed sentience and borrowed intelligence of my true nature. The intelligence does not belong to these equipments. They are inert, they are seen, they are objects. So this way, as I negate, what I'm left with is my own self, which is pure awareness. Like this, various methods of inquiry, vichara, mananam, Bhagavan Shri Krishna has given. The same thing, Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga, can be applied as Jada Chaitanya Vibhaga, Viveka also. Whenever we see in the world that there is an assemblage of inert parts, inert things, it is meant for the use of an owner, of a sentient being, of a master who is different from the assemblage, isn't it? Let me explain with an example. There is a house. The house has been made out of mortar, cement, all the bricks and doors and windows, the electrical and plumbing equipments, various things. Okay. Furniture, everything is there, well equipped. All these inert things have come together as an assemblage. For what? For whom? It's not for one among itself. Those are all not there for the chair to be placed. No. All this have been placed or come together, have been assembled together to be used by a master, a sentient being who's different from this assemblage. Similarly with the car, all the parts, the wheel, the steering wheel and the tires and the engines and the doors, the windows, all these things have come together. There is an assemblage, meaning there is going to be a driver, a sentient being, who's going to use it for some purpose. So we have these equipments which are all individually jada. They've all been assembled together to serve a purpose for a sentient being who will reside in it and use it. So I am sentient. I don't have this experience of inertness. So the Jada Chaitanya Vibhaga also we can do. Swaswami Sambandha, the relationship of the owned and the owner. Whenever I say this is my phone or this is my bottle, this is my book, I know that I am different from what I own. The book is torn, I'm not torn. The phone is broken, I'm not broken. And the owner is always sentient. I know that from my experience. My phone, my house, my car, my dog, my clothes, my friends. When I say, I know that my friends are different from me, my clothes are different from me, my house, my car, my dog, these are all different from me. Isn't it? Not me. But when I say my body, my mind, my thoughts, my senses, my eyes, they are different from me. Right? So this kind of inquiry, when I do this reflection, self-reflection and self-introspection along the lines of what is given in this Shastra, through this negation method, what I arrive at is my own true nature. I am the subject, I am the owner, different from the owned. I am sentient, I am Chaitanya Swarupa. I am Sat Swarupa, Nitya Swarupa. Okay. So when this knowledge now is gained, and then there is clarity, there is no doubts also, there should be practical applications of it. Are we able to apply this to whatever extent in our practical life, stand apart from these equipments and instruments, witness their changes, witness them go through ups and downs, be detached, at least for a little while, right? That witnesshood, that detachment is what we can practice at the practical level. So these are various logical reasonings, various methods that Bhagavan is giving us. So we've arrived at Satchit Swarupa, and all my pursuits for being immortal, for staying healthier longer, to know this, to know that, all these are there only at the worldly level. But these limitations cannot truly limit me, right? This is known. What about happiness? That pursuit is still there. I always seek happiness. Whatever I do, it's always to run away from the sources of sorrow towards the sources of happiness. Before we know what this is, we have to analyze what is this happiness that we seek. Ananda, what is this happiness that we seek? Is it an object? It cannot be an object. There is no object called happiness. Is that an object like we can possess, like a house or a car or a phone or a fruit or a sweet? It's not like that. We know that. Is it a quality of an object, like we see the jamun, a gulab jamun, and we know its nature is sweetness. But you can't say its nature is happiness. Sweet is the quality, the property of the jamun. But happiness, you can't say is the quality or the property of the jamun, because it could give happiness to me, but not to someone else. For someone else, it could be like such an aversion. For me itself, after maybe the third or the fourth jamun, it would only cause revulsion and aversion. So happiness is not the quality or a property of an object. It is not an object itself, like anything else that we can possess and say, I have this, therefore I have happiness. Can't say that. So if it's not something external, when we negate all that is external, what I'm left with is internal. Is it within me? Is it an organ that I possess? Or a hormone that is secreted? That also we cannot say. It's not like liver or pancreas that this happiness is within me. No. Is it a thought? Is it an attitude that I should have, that I should have the attitude that I am happy? I should have this thought that I should be happy. That also is not possible. It's not definitely a particular hormone or an organ or an attitude or a thought. Therefore, you cannot say that it is external or internal. So when you've negated all that is external and all that is internal, what is left is me, myself. So therefore, happiness should be what? My own true nature, myself, without which I cannot exist, my essential nature. When you take the sweetness out of sugar, it cannot exist. When you take the heat out of fire, it cannot exist. Like that, everything external and internal is negated. What is left is my own nature, just happiness. So I must be the source of all the happiness. I must be the very essence, the nature of happiness. Ananda Swarupa. Okay, this may be true, whatever you're saying, But why do I feel happiness only when certain conditions are met? Whenever I attain something I desire, then there is a feeling of happiness. Other times, that is not my experience. I may be the nature of happiness. What is said in Bhagavad Gita by Shri Krishna, I trust them, I have faith, okay. But these doubts are there, how it can be, because my experience is what? So much sorrow, and then a glimpse of happiness, again, then so much sorrow. All that happiness also is there temporarily. The glimpses of happiness that I get is when I possess something that I was craving for, that I've always desired. And then it vanishes also. That is my experience. So how can you say that I am happiness? I am of the nature of happiness. So by logic, when we've negated everything as external and internal, logic we've arrived by this. So how it can be, right? So it means whenever we get something that we desire, that we've liked, there is no denial that we do feel a certain happiness, but that happiness is what? It has not come from the object we know. It has not come from within also we know. What it is my nature has been reflected, has surfaced, because what was veiling it as my mind and agitations of the mind has calmed down. In that calm, agitationless, thoughtless, desireless mind, antakarna, temporarily my nature, which is me, huh? When the veiling has become so thin or removed temporarily, it has surfaced and I feel it. That's all it is. The fulfillment has come because of the cessation of the agitation. When I wanted something that kept agitating my mind, that agitation, the thoughts kept disturbances in my true self, veiling my nature as happiness. But when that was procured, although temporarily, that agitations and waves have subsided and the mind has become calm. At that time, when I'm enjoying the jamun, or when I am with the person that I liked and wanted to be with, the duality has vanished temporarily. I don't feel, so that's why whenever we enjoy something, our eyes close. We eat something we cherish, we are with the person we cherish, or we go from one corner of the country to another corner to the Himalayas, taking so much, physical strain to go and reach Uttarkashi or somewhere, and then we see Bhagwan, and then we close our eyes. Because all that wanting to go there to see, to have that darshan, that when I reached there, and when that duality has gone temporarily, because that fulfillment I have achieved has happened, then the mind is calm temporarily and my true nature just is revealed and experienced. Same thing when I'm enjoying the sensual pleasure also. So the true happiness is not from that object, not from that being, not in that circumstance, but when the mind, which is veiling my nature, that has calmed down, because the thoughts, the desires in the form of thoughts have gone and the duality has vanished. I achieved what I want to achieve. The sight of a beautiful scenery doesn't mean the scenery has the beauty. Sitting there, how long can you sit also? But temporarily it produces that calmness, and that antakarana has become so calm, what is my nature is revealed and experienced by me. That's why in sleep, this is the most practical and the most valid logical inquiry we can do also. To know that I am the source of happiness. Happiness is my own true nature, right? In sleep, we all feel happy, isn't it? We all feel very nourished, refreshed in sleep. Without sleep, we will go mad. And how do we go to sleep? Do we take anything into that state? We cannot. We give up all the things, all that we cherish, the wealth, the house, the properties, the stock, everything that is dear and near to us, whether it is wealth or whether it is our family, even our dearest body and mind, we let go. And then we sleep. And we all enjoy sleep. We do not want to come out of it. And when we do come out of it, there is always, after a certain point of time, we just feel, I want to sleep. Because we feel very calm, that happiness, that source of refreshment, the source of happiness we want to enter. That happiness that we feel divide of all things, that is my true nature. That is the practical thing where we know it's not dependent on anything external or internal. It is my true nature. And it is the same to all. A king's sleep is the same as the beggar's sleep. Isn't it? Like fire is the nature, heat is the nature of fire. This happiness is my nature. Only then, it has to be only then I can experience this happiness and sleep devoid of all that is external and internal. When the mind has become so calm, there is no duality, there is absolute bliss, happiness. So this way, when we apply logic, what are we arriving at? Happiness is my true nature. But I don't experience because of the desires. Happiness is inversely proportionate to the number of desires. It is inversely proportionate to the number of desires I am entertaining, that is yet to be achieved. So reduce the number of desires, then we can be relatively more and more happy. So this is what Bhagavan Shri Krishna, through analysis, through Shruti, he is telling us, all you will arrive at, through whatever Viveka you do, is your own true nature as Sachidananda Swarupa, and nothing other than that. And this knowledge is very important. Without the knowledge, even the experience won't help. One may have the experience, I don't know, somehow of Sachidananda Swarupa and not know what it is without the knowledge. Yes, experience will make no, experience by itself cannot give us knowledge. Knowledge has to happen. Knowledge has to happen through Guru, through Shastra. The knowledge has to happen. Only then the experience also can be validated. I will give you one example of a master or realized master. He is popularly called as Papaji. He was popularly called as Papaji. Punja, I think his name is. So Papaji, even as a child, he had this experience of bliss just while having amras. He just had this indescribable experience of so much bliss and happiness. He was there in that state for some time. After having come out of it, he did not know what it was or how he got it, and he always craved for it. So all his life he craved for it. Innocently, the child asks the mother, and the mother says, it is Krishna, so you pray to Krishna, he will give you happiness. So he becomes a Parama Krishna Bhakta and always chanting the name of the Lord. And through his upasanas, he gets darshans of the Lord also. And he experiences some happiness because of those darshans and all that. His mind also gets purified, but still that experience is not there. Because the knowledge is not there. That is his own true nature, what he is seeking outside, or what he is seeking through some darshan, or what he is thinking of as some state to be entered into, to be obtained. Okay. And then finally, through the grace of Bhagavan Shri Ramana Maharishi, he gets to know his true nature, his true nature, and then he just owns it up, and after that, there is no more sorrow ever. It's not that after the knowledge is there, the ignorance can come, one can forget it. It's not like that. Knowledge and then the experience. Therefore, this knowledge is so important, what Shri Krishna has said. And because we have so many doubts, ignorance is gone. For all and any of us, the ignorance is gone. But there is what? There are doubts. There are doubts of how can it be true? How can it be true? And he has given these methods of inquiry, all this viveka, self-reflection that we can do to remove all these doubts. Okay, I've heard with Shraddha and I know with faith now what Bhagavan Shri Krishna has said. All right. I did not know I was Sachidananda Swarupa. Now I know. And I have faith that it cannot be false. And using the inquiry methods, I have got rid of my doubts also. Logically, I am the source of happiness. My nature is happiness. That's why in sleep, letting go of everything, I go there. That must be my nature of happiness. Okay. Okay. Similarly, with such all that we have seen, still my experience is what is my practical experience is opposite of it. Right? Is opposite of it. That is because of our wrong habitual notions. Wrong habitual notions, these deep impressions that are there, and certain impurities of the mind also. So, like say hypothetically, a beggar who's actually the heir of a rich merchant, he was lost as a small child and he became a beggar to fend for himself. Somehow they find him and then they tell him, you are not a beggar, you are this rich man's lineage, you are in that lineage, you are the heir to all this wealth that is there. So you are a very, very, very rich, wealthy person. He's told, he has doubts, he's shown the proofs, and then he accepts also, yes, I was lost here at this time. He vaguely remembers, okay, all that is there. And then he's shown all his properties, he's dressed that way, everything. But then when he still goes to the market, now in his own car as a wealthy person, wearing all those rich clothes, suddenly if someone is distributing some money or some sweets, habitually he may go and also stretches a hand to receive, because that's what he's been doing all his life. For those 50, 60 years, he was doing only that. Even though now he knows he's a rich man, he knows it. Without doubts also he knows it. There is proof, there is evidence, everything. But out of habit, he does that. Now we are like that beggar. Bhagavan Shri Krishna told us our true nature. We are the king. And he has shown us the logic, has given us the proof also. The doubts have gone. But still we are like that beggar in the world, stretching our hands out for happiness here and there. Because of this very long habits, habitual notions, those wrong notions, those deep impressions that are running deep in our subconscious. Therefore, there is this need for meditation. We may see the truth at the time of listening to our guru also, or when we are reading a line of the Shastra, it may temporarily clear those doubts and we may see the truth. But that doesn't last long because of our habitual notions. Okay. So what we should do is we should do these practices of meditation where we sit and meditate on what we've heard, on the knowledge that has been gained, the knowledge that has been received, and own it up and own it up. That process, that attempt itself is called meditation. It's not like a state or something but the attempts, this process of external preparations, the internal preparations, sitting and taking that knowledge and just accepting it, owning it up. That process is called meditation. That is very much needed to get rid of this viparita bhavana. One is abhavana, one is asambhavana, one is viparita bhavana. Abhavana is ignorance, not knowing. That can be removed only through knowledge, only when we hear it, through shravana. Even anubhava cannot give it. Only shravanam. Shruti shravanam. That is the knowledge of the Vedanta through the Guru. That removes the ignorance. Okay. But still there are doubts. That is asambhavana. The asambhavana can be removed only through yukti, mananam. Using the logical reasoning that is given in the Shruti, we do reflection. Abhavana is gone, asambhavana is gone. Then what is there? Still we don't own it up because of all these wrong habitual notions that are running deep in our personality. How do we remove this? Is through nididhyasana. Nididhyasana is meditation, dhyana. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. These are the internal limbs of sadhana. We saw all the external limbs, that is Bhakti Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga and Karma Yoga. All these to prepare the mind. That these are all, those are all Bahir Sadhana, Bahiranga Sadhana, external preparations. The internal preparations are this, or the direct preparations, the direct sadhana or internal sadhana, or this Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, because it is directly, there is no doing, there is only with the mind and intellect. And of that also, especially this meditation, the last sadhana, the highest sadhana, the meditation, is the closest to the truth. It is what takes us closest to the truth. Therefore, it is called the Sakshat sadhana, or the immediate or the direct sadhana. Bahiranga sadhana, Antaranga sadhana, and Sakshat sadhana. External preparations, internal preparations, and then the immediate or the direct cause or the direct means. Sadhana means, external means, internal means, and then the immediate means is Nididhyasana. Why we need Nididhyasana and how to, what it is, that is what we have to see now as the last process. So Bhagavan has dedicated the entire chapter 6, Atma Samyama Yoga or Dhyana Yoga, for this. Now we understand the need for this sadhana, dhyana, meditation, so that all these deep-rooted wrong habitual notions are evaporated through our sadhana, in that tapas, in that heat of meditation, and we come to own up the true nature as Satchidananda Swarupa. So how do we do this? Step by step in chapter 6 it's given. First of all, certain external preparations are very important also. Although it is mentally owning it up, it can happen in the marketplace at any time, in any situation, one can say it is true. But as aspirants, as sadhakas, we need certain, in the initial stages, we need a lot of preparations. So, because of all the external distractions that can happen, we need to choose a clean, quiet, silent, alone place and time. External preparations, right? So it can be, one need not go up to the peaks of the Himalayas or anything, just a clean, silent, quiet corner of your room, of your house is enough. One room or one corner of a house is also enough. But that place has to be meant exclusively for meditation. You keep it clean. There you study, meditate, do puja, that's all, nothing else. In that place, you keep that ambience. When you go there itself, that ambience is built, that temperament is of contemplation. So you dedicate that place, you keep it clean, and choose a quiet and a silent time. It may be early morning hours, where there is no pressure of what should I do next. So all these phone calls will come and all these noises are there. So we need not be concerned about those external disturbances. And it has to be done alone. It's not like, yes, I'll call my friends. Yoga you can do together, exercise you can do together, study and discussion also. But meditation, it has to be done alone. So the clean, quiet place, sitting alone, the position is not too high on a chair with with no support, that if you fall asleep, you may fall down from the seat also, right? In a proper place with proper balance, with a proper mat, so that physically we are not disturbed by the wetness of the floor, all those things. These are some of the external preparations. Then posture, how should the body be? Either sitting in Sukhasana or Padmasana, just Sukhasana, all right. If you cannot sit down on a chair, also is all right, but without taking any support of the backrest, with the head, neck, and spine all erect in one line. It should be a sthira sukha asana, firm and comfortable, not shaking, not uncomfortable, not stooped. Not, it should be firm at the same time, relaxed and comfortable. It's not like too much like this also. You can't, how long can you sit like that? Erect, but comfortable and relaxed, and sitting firmly in that. So we have chosen a quiet time, so there is no masala smell anywhere, no distracting smell. You're not eating anything. So the senses one by one, you are withdrawing. Your eyes are closed. Just drop them gently, as though you're looking inward. It may appear like you are looking at the tip of the nose, but only that you are looking deep within. It doesn't mean you have to look at the tip of your nose. It can hurt your eyesight, your physical eye. Okay. So that's what it is meant, is to withdraw the senses. There may not be many sounds also, because it's a quiet time of the day. Even if there are many sounds, just withdraw the senses. Just accept them as it is. So sitting in a good posture, relaxed posture, the concerns of the body, oh, this is cramping, that is cramping, aching, all that is gone. Senses are withdrawn, so none of the sense objects outside are disturbing. Eyes are closed. Even if some ears or smell may come, you just withdraw the senses. This is the external preparation of the place, the time, the body, the senses. Then what? Mind. How should the mind be? Mind should be very pleasant, calm. That's why we are choosing a time where you are not, the phones may not be ringing. There may not be anyone ringing the doorbell. Okay. So no agitations. I have plenty of time. If you get up and do it at 8:30 in the morning, when you're expected to leave the house at 9 o'clock, that's not a good time. All these thoughts of the world have already come, agitating us. Early morning time, you feel you have plenty of time. All that the world is going to wake up only after 7 or 8 for me. I'm shunning the world. That's why Bhagavan Shri Krishna says, Brahmachari vrate stitva. One has to take up the identity of a brahmachari or a sannyasi. That should be our identity. Not as so-and-so's wife's, the leader of such and such an institution, the mother of so-and-so. All those identities are not there. I'm not sitting there as a grihastha or as a leader or as a worker, as an employee. No such identities as a man, woman, nothing. I'm just here with the true identification of a sannyasi. Sannyasi. Everything is sannyastham. Everything has been renounced. Only owning up of this knowledge is required now. And one should take a firm resolve that during this time, come what may, I'm not going to let such thoughts enter my mind or think about that can be dealt with later. I'm not going to get up off my seat, or I'm not going to wander off into those fields. I can inquire into that later and can think about it, solve those problems, issues, address those things later. Now I'm a nobody. There is nothing I need to do. I'm nobody. There is literally nothing I have to do. Nothing. With that resolve, we sit there, disengaged with the world, call a truce with it, call off all other appointments. This most important appointment with my own inner self, my true nature. You sit. If thinking of our own true nature and all is still so subtle, then think of, a form of the God and do such meditation to get concentration. And once concentration is achieved, then this can be started. Meditation on the self instead of meditation on the form of a Lord or quality of a Lord. Here we are talking of Atma Dhyana only. Sitting there, whatever we have heard, whatever we have reflected, that truth, take any one indicator also, nameless, formless, timeless, anything. Ajaha, Nityam, Chaitanya Swarupam, Chidananda Rupaha, Shivoham, Shivoham. Any one word, any one phrase, one thing is also enough. And that should that should indicate what our true nature. So sitting there and owning it up, that should be the attempt. Sometimes initially there also, there may be some questions, how it can be, that it can start off as reflection, but then it should end with that, try to sit with that knowledge and try to assimilate and own it up. That process by step folding, the external world into the senses into the mind, the thoughts of the mind into the witnesshood, and just witness that nature and own it up. That should be the process of meditation. And whatever obstacles may come, after sitting there with firm resolve, also, after sitting there as a sannyasi, giving up all the other attachments, disengaged, also, suddenly mind may get distracted by something, or it may just be sleepy. For whatever reasons the mind runs out, pull it away from that and just, if there are thoughts, then ask, where are these thoughts coming from? What are these thoughts? What is the source of these thoughts? And inquire into the very source, the very origin. Who is enlivening these thoughts? Let it pass, let it pass. After such witnesshood, those thoughts also will cease. And just try to accept and appreciate and own up the knowledge of our true nature as given by Shri Krishna. You're feeling sleepy, then stay alert. Too sleepy because of fatigue. That's why all those methods were given. Lifestyle conducive to meditation and sadhana. Yuktahara, viharas, yukta cheshtasya karma. So throughout the day, what we eat, what we perceive, what kind of entertainments, how much work we take up, what kind of work we take up, what kind of interactions we do, all that has to be conducive so that this half an hour that we sit with ourselves becomes effective. If that is going to be indiscriminate, there is no moderation in our indulgences, recreation, and work, then this will not be effective at all. Okay, so this way, when we sit with it and accept, at least let us start 10 minutes, keep an alarm for 10 minutes, sit at least quietly. That physical sitting itself, from 10 minutes, if you slowly increase it to half an hour, 40 minutes, there are so many benefits. After some time, this would have happened to all of us, trying to sit for meditation, right? There is no sense of identity with the body, sometimes it feels so cramped. You just don't feel like opening your eye or moving your limb. It feels like you are apart from the body. Has this not happened? If it has not happened, then you might not have attempted at all. If you attempt it regularly and become a little the little bit of mastership over your physical posture itself, ability to sit sthira sukha asana. In that asana, being able to sit firmly, comfortably, relaxedly, without any movements for quite some time, and just observing your thoughts or observing your breath. And after that quietude, after that relaxation, it becomes very difficult to wake up, to get up, to stir up. There is this, you feel that you are someone, a witness, watching your body, disowned from your body. You can't feel what your limb is, where your hand is, nothing. That is one of the initial stages. Then once we gain that mastership over the posture, body posture, then move to the mind, how you can withdraw the mind, the thoughts, how you can watch the thoughts and disown the thoughts. Then there is a relative quietude of the mind, then ownership. Like that, step by step, you fold within. Dissolve the entire duality, the world, into the source, into the experiencer, into the non-dual self. These are the steps that Bhagavan Shri Krishna said, and this disunion from all the sources of sorrow, that is yoga. In yoga, where we sit disunited with all these upadhis, which are the causes of sorrow, that is called yogas. Tam vidyat dukkha sayoga viyoga yoga uchyate. Very beautiful definition of yoga. Dukkha sayoga viyoga yoga uchyate. What is yoga or perfection? It is disunion from the union or association of all these causes of sorrow, all these false conditionings, limitations, and these upadhis. That is meditation. That is yoga. All right. So let us make a resolve that every day at least 10 minutes, starting with 10 minutes, you will dedicate for you. Sitting for 10 minutes. I'm saying the least. If you are already doing that, then increase your time to half an hour, 40 minutes. Slowly, you can take it 5 minutes at a time. Increase slowly. Okay. This is the most important, the highest vocation, what Shri Krishna said, the immediate sakshat sadhana. Should attempt it, Oh, I'm not fit for it. There are so many distractions that come to mind. All those external preparations, internal preparations, the purity of mind, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, upasana, all those methods Bhagavan has given. We'll try to follow that also, but dedicatedly let us start this simultaneously. By His grace, let it happen. We'll conclude here and we'll meet on Wednesday. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hari Om.